Hey guys, Mike here again, down in the dungeon. So today we're going to talk a little bit about personal responsibility. And we're going to do that from the sense of you, the center circle, like we talked about in a previous video. So let's assume that no one's coming to save you, okay? That no one's going to pull you out of your mess, that no one's going to give you a handout, that you've got to do it, okay? There's no rich uncle that's going to die and give you everything. You're not going to win the lottery. It's, you have got to do for you, okay? Now, from the sense of like, I love to break things down into the simplest forms, okay? Life is complex. There's always what ifs. There's always different circumstances. All these are all realities, okay? But if you break it down to the smallest level, to you, you can, that it gives you a good place to start, okay? So let's pretend that that the world is against you. And I don't mean that in the sense of like the sky is falling. I mean it in a sense of like, let's imagine that you were alone in the jungle. Okay? You're alone in the jungle. All right? And, nature isn't so much against you, so to speak, but it's definitely not for you in the way that like, it's going to purposely help you out. It's just there, and it's deadly, okay, and it commands respect. So you're in the jungle, and this jungle is, like I said, it's full of dangers, and this is the same thing as I'm in a city, I'm in a Walmart, I'm walking down the street, okay? It's the same thing. Think about this all as the same thing. But let's just take, for example, you're in the jungle, okay? What do I need? What do I need to get through here, okay? What do I need to stay alive, right? And let's not, obviously food, water, stuff like that, but let's think a little bit more about like your physical body, okay? You're in the jungle. And the jungle is mountainous, right? It's hilly terrain. People think of the jungle, they think of like the Amazon or something, and it's all like some floodplain. But I'm talking about like Papua New Guinea, right? Where it's like a mountainous rainforest, okay? What do you need? Well, you need a certain level of fitness. Okay, now I'm not talking about fitness in the term of like Darwinism, although it is sort of the same thing. But like, if you're not able to walk uphill in this jungle scenario, you're not able to save yourself. You're not able to gather resources. You're not able to move from place to place. You're not able to do those. Okay, if you watch the movie Zombieland, number one rule, the number one rule I think of Zombieland is cardio. Okay, why? Because he says that it's all the fatties are the first ones to go, or the first ones to go are the fatties. Why? Because they can't get away from the zombies. Okay, this is the same in this scenario. You need a certain level of fitness to survive in this world. Okay, now I'm not talking about like to merely survive. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm talking about surviving a catastrophe, right? So like, you could bet that maybe nothing ever happens. There's no zombie apocalypse coming. There's no, a flood. There's no tornado. There's no, what else? There's no nuclear, no nuclear bombs are coming. There's the Germans aren't coming. Like you could go through life just being that way, like nothing's ever going to happen. And when it does, you'll die. Or you could go through life being like, you know what? These things are really unlikely to happen. It's unlikely, statistically speaking, that the Germans are coming or that my house is going to get hit by a tornado, okay? Statistically speaking, these things are low. But I'm going to be ready in case it does. I'm going to be ready in case I'm at Walmart and somebody opens fire, that I can get the fuck out. I have a higher chance to survive in a situation like that than someone who can't move. Now, maybe you can't move because, I don't know, you're handicapped, right? You have not a stroller. What is the thing? A walker or something, right? Or you're blind. I don't know. But listen, have you seen the movie 300? Okay. In the very beginning of the movie, when somebody had a baby, okay, they would examine the baby. And if the baby wasn't fit for survival, they would throw it away, right? Now that's very, very, very brutal, but it's honest and it's reality, okay? If there's a tornado coming and I've got to get to the shelter, right? And I've got a walker and I can barely get around, my ass is dead. Sorry, right? Now maybe there's somebody like me that comes by and grabs your ass up and carries you. That could happen, okay? But it's a lot easier to carry someone that's light. Just saying, okay? So you need to have a certain level of fitness just to survive in this world, to survive scenarios. To survive scenarios. Whatever scenario. You can't predict the future. Are you God? No. You don't know what's going to happen, okay? Look at, say, some people will be like, I don't know, say it's a shit hit the fan scenario, and they're like, I don't need to be fit because I've got guns. Okay, well, if you don't have the ability to retreat, or you don't have the ability to advance, you're useless, you're dead. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many guns you can have, or how many guns you have. It doesn't. It also doesn't matter how many guns you have anyway, because you can only shoot one at a time, right? Unless they're like dual wielding pistols, but very few people are even able to. I don't know of a single instance where somebody in real life is pulling off dual wield pistols or dual wield anything, right? I don't want to get off on some kind of weird ass tangent, but so you need a certain level of just physical fitness to survive. Okay, think about the Army or the Special Forces. Why do they make them go through these physical training? Because it's a damn requirement for survival in an unpredictable scenario. That's what we can call it, an unpredictable scenario. Life, the world, the jungle, the city, walking down the street is unpredictable. The other day I got attacked by a motherfucking dog. Okay? And now, did the dog bite me? No, it didn't bite me. But the motherfucker bum rushed me, right? I had about 3 seconds, which is 3 seconds more than you normally get. Okay? And I was like, oh shit, here comes a motherfucking pit bull. I'm in the city limits. Some son of a bitch has got a fucking pit bull just out fucking roaming. Here comes this son of a bitch hard, right? And he gets up to me and I stick my foot out because I'm like, motherfucker, this is close enough. And he loses his absolute shit. And the only fucking thing that saved me was the passerby just stopped his car and was like probably in fucking shock that I'm getting attacked by a dog on the side of the street inside the city limits. And anyway, the dog got distracted by this car and ran off. And I'm like, dude. Now, in this scenario, okay, I'm quite helpless. Even as like fit as I am, like I'm pretty fit. I work out almost every day. I'll run 8-10 miles at a time or more. Like I do jiu-jitsu. I'm pretty fit. But I'm gonna have a hard motherfucking time fighting that dog off. Real fucking hard. Right? Like I don't think the dog would kill me, but damn, I'm going to the emergency room, And they better have some blood ready. Like I'm gonna have a hard time, and I'm fit. Now, what if you're not? What if you're the guy in the walker? What if you're a kid? Or, what if you're a pale, wimpy motherfucker? Or a big, fat, out of shape person? Like, how long can you fight this dog off? Maybe you can fight it off for a couple of minutes and you lose, and you're gassed and you're fucking dead. These dogs will fucking kill you. If you have a pit bull, keep the motherfucker chained up or keep him in your fucking house. Okay? The problem with them is they don't cower, right? So like most dogs, if you threaten them, even big dogs, doesn't matter. If you threaten them, they'll cower, right? They'll back down. Pit bull don't fucking do that. Pit bull won't fucking back down, right? And so now I can't even walk down the fucking street. Now I gotta be strapped, right? But this is an example. This is an unpredictable situation, right? What if the dog scared you so much that you took off running and the motherfucker jumped on your back? Would you be able to fight the fucking thing off? Right? This is a real life scenario. This happened 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Anyway, it won't happen again. But so physical fitness, and people have. Let me tell you something about physical fitness. People have no fucking idea what that means. It's like most people think that physical fitness means you have to look like one of these models in a fucking magazine or something. You got to be shredded and ripped all to the gills and all that shit. No, that's not what it means. That's not it. Okay, that's not it. It just simply means, really, if it's you, I need to be able to manipulate my body weight. Okay? I don't necessarily need to be able to carry a motherfucker. It's nice if you can, right? If you're a firefighter, if you're special forces, if you're a police officer, if you're first responder, maybe you need to be able to carry a motherfucker, right? But if you're just some Joe Schmo, you don't really need to be able to carry a motherfucker. Maybe you need to be able to carry your kids, okay? Maybe that can be an extra level that you add to it, or your wife, or whatever. But what the most important thing is that you need to be able to manipulate your own body. Your own body. Okay, we're at the center of the circle, remember? It's you. You have to be able to manipulate your body in space and to move, right? To be able to move to get to safety, to be able to hold your own against an attacker, or whatever, or to be able to, and this is a pretty good scenario, or a pretty good idea, is like a lot of people will say, well, like say if it's a home invasion scenario, well, my pistol is, I have my pistol to get me to my long gun, right? So maybe you need to have the ability first to get to your pistol, and then the ability to get to your long gun. Okay, but you need to have the ability to do that. And if not, you may live your whole life and nothing ever happened, but you're rolling the dice, man. You're rolling the dice. You may live, your whole life, like I said, and nothing happened, or you may walk down the street and get attacked by a motherfucking dog. That's just the way it is. So you need to have a certain level of physical fitness that you can manipulate your own body. You ain't got to be Arnold. You ain't got to be the world's strongest man. You don't have to be ripped. You don't have to be, you don't have to go and run a fucking marathon. But you ought to have a minimal level of fitness enough to manipulate your own body in space. And a good way to get that started, and I'll shut the hell up, is just start fucking walking. That's what I tell people. If they say, oh, how can I lose weight? Just start walking. Just start walking. That's it. Go and walk. I don't know, if you've never ever walked before, and you're like a couch potato or something, go walk for 15 minutes, okay? And then work your way up to 30. And then maybe work your way up to an hour, or, walk a mile, and then work your way up to 2 miles, and work your way up to 3, right? And then eventually maybe you get so good at walking, then you can start to jog, okay? And then maybe you get so good at jogging, then you can start to to jog longer, farther, right? Or then maybe you want to do something else, you know. Lift weights for men. I mean, for women also, definitely. But for men, especially as you get older, the way that you hold on to your testosterone is typically lean body mass, right? So that has to do with, you know, resistance training, weightlifting, stuff like that. But if you've never done anything, just fucking walk. Walk. Just walk. Just walk. Just walk. That's it. It's really easy. You take this foot and you put it in front of this foot, and then you alternate. You just repeat, rinse and repeat, and you just walk. You just walk. You know, and then that's it. You know, that's a good place to start. All right. So yeah, look. You know, rule number 1 of Zombieland. The real world. Rule 1 of the real world is cardio. No, rule 1, it's fitness. Fitness, okay? And it does have to do with Darwin, because the fittest are the ones that survive. Next, you've heard survival of the fittest. Well, that's kind of the same thing. The definitions are a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same thing. Survival of the fittest means the fittest, the most able. Okay? All right? Because everybody knows the first ones to go in Zombieland are the fatties.